Hello and welcome to another Told Games Foundry stream. We're working on our ESO Blackwood chapter, and we're using the character Maria Stuarda and just playing through, exploring, looking at some of the lore behind the scenes with this particular chapter. This stream mostly focuses on keeping you introduced to the Elder Scrolls universe and the Elder Scrolls franchise, really. And then we also are focusing on the story of the Blackwood chapter. So, and trying to engage in that rather than charging straight through the adventure as fast as we can. So that's kind of the premise behind it. A couple of announcements. I'm hoping to get 2 streams in today, and I won't be doing streams tomorrow because the organist at our church is retiring and we're needing to go and celebrate him. So we'll aim for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours today presently, and then we'll do another one later this afternoon. And just follow. If you happen to jump into the chat, say hello. If you follow, you'll get a notification about the next time I'm on stream, and that's probably going to be the best way to do it. So I'm not too active on Twitter or the other social medias as they were. If you happen to miss this VOD and want to watch it long after Twitch has culled it from their system, you can find this on YouTube as well. So all of the VODs are uploaded within a couple of hours of the original stream. So with that, let's jump into the story and remind ourselves what we are doing in Elder Scrolls. So let's see if I press the right button. There we go. Got the correct button. You're not looking at my mailbox, which is usually how you find things. Oh, somebody's playing soccer over there with Miri. Somebody taught their companion how to play soccer. Very interesting. Anyway, here is Maria Stuarda, of course named after an opera by Donizetti, paying homage to my background as an opera singer. Yes, I did sing professional opera for about 15 years. I got pretty good at it, too. If you're noticing the nice deep voice, that is the reason why. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so let's see. Maria Stuarda is an Argonian, currently wearing equipment that she picked up in the tutorial. I'm gonna get my own companion out, helping me on my collection, on my journey here. Assistance companions Miri. Oop, I guess she was active. I wonder where she was. I didn't see her on the screen anywhere. Miri, where are you? There you are. So Miri Elendis is my companion. I choose her because there's only 2 companions available. The other companion is Bastion, and his special perk is that he gives you bonuses when you drink potions. I so rarely remember to drink a potion, so Miri it is. Miri also helps get you treasure, and I kind of go for
You're
that.
back. I confess I was not entirely sure I would see you again. I assume you bring good news.
I completed this little quest here with the Minotaurs, so I can turn
2
that
Minotaurs? I heard rumors about a monster with 4 arms and 2 heads. Now I know.
Okay.
We don't have any more work. It's your lucky
It's
day.
the old Death
Chamber
War.
of Legates asked us to send someone. The biggest, meanest death hopper anyone's ever seen. Imagine You've got
Okay.
a job. Go on.
Oh, well. Just a few minutes in, and we are already gaining some levels. I am remembering there's a couple other settings I need to adjust here, so give me one little moment. Yep, now you're looking at my mail. That's great. Alright, so back in we go. I'm going to adjust some of the resolution here for all your benefit. That will help a little bit. It helps keep the background noise of my system down just a little bit. And one more little switch here. There we go. Okay, rewards are available. Claim Tarragon chicken, some provisioning business. Ah, yes, level ups, attribute points. I'm going for a 3-2-1 approach, so 3 magicka to 2 health to 1 stamina. Looks like I need to get my health up to 6 and my magicka up to 9, so let's do a 1 on the magicka side. I have 3 skill points. Not quite sure where to put them right now. If you're in the chat and want to give me a recommendation, by all means. Let me double check jewelry crafting. You know, there was some jewelry crafting I wanted to do. I wanted to get that increased just a little bit. They have a system in play to help you improve some of the other crafting skills. The 3 equipment-based ones, woodworking, blacksmithing, and clothing. Clothing crafting, I guess. But they don't do one for jewelry because jewelry is part of a DLC, is part of the Somerset chapter, which I do own. But meanwhile, let's do blacksmithing, just to give you a sense of that. I have a bit of iron ore there, but with blacksmithing I'm at level 3, and that's just enough to be able to get the keen eye for blacksmithing materials to appear on the map a little bit easier. I don't have that for jewelry crafting, so the only way to get that is to improve my jewelry crafting ability. Let's see, and that is done. Let's see, here we have outfits. Here we have, let's see, that is for clothing, those scissors things. I think this is jewelry up here. Yeah, there we go. See the jewelry thing there. Okay, so do some refining. I'll just refine the pewter dust for the time being. And that should boost things. I guess it didn't boost my jewelry crafting at all. That's unfortunate. So maybe the only way to do it is to do some crafting. So here we can do rings or necklaces. That's jewelry crafting. We can choose what kind of material I want to use. Oh wow, there's more materials than I thought there were going to be. Well, I'll get those materials later. I do have some copper for a little bit later on a different character, but for now I just want to improve my jewelry crafting up to level 2 or 3. So let's go with pewter ounces, and I can craft multiple rings at the same time. So I'm gonna do that. Let's see. Necklaces require 3, rings require 2 at level 1, the basic level, so I'm gonna craft multiple of those. Let's craft as many as I can. Okay, 21, that's as many as I can, so craft them all. I should, boom, there it goes, bumped up to 2. Let's see if that's enough. Jewelry crafting, 2, keen eye jewelry, that's what I was looking for. Good. Now jewelry seams in the world will be easier to see when I am close. I can put more points into this if I wished to, but usually that's enough. You can see I have that keen eye ability on woodworking for finding wood, for enchanting. No, not for enchanting. Right, because, you know, I'll go ahead and... Nah, I'll not bother. Rune stones are usually pretty easy to see. They have a very distinctive shape, and they automatically are glowing a little bit, so you don't need to add additional glowing to them. But this one for cloth, very useful. The cloth forms in the little plants are really hard to spot when blending in with all of the grass and the other generic shrubbery. Blacksmithing, for ore, alchemy. Same with herbs. Those are often very hard to spot in the wild, so that's a good spell to have. I still have 2 more skill points. Before I forget them, let's go ahead and deconstruct all of those. I'm going to leave this for later, for somebody else to deconstruct all of those pewter rings. And that will give me a little bit of pewter ounce to use for later crafting on other characters. I also got just a wee bit of jewelry crafting experience. So you see I'm 2 and a bit by deconstructing. So, you saw I had a bunch of other stuff I could have deconstructed, but I will leave that to the character who does most of my constructing and deconstructing. They have certain perks that help them get more out of their deconstruction. Anyway,
Comrade, a word.
Hi. You look an awful lot like Miri. Anyway, what's up?
Comrade, I have an urgent message for you. Guildmaster Sees All Colors would like to see you as soon as possible. She said the journal has revealed something. You can find her in the hall in Mournhold, comrade. May the 8 protect you.
Okay. So she is from the Fighters Guild. I did a little bit of Fighters Guild playing off-stream just to advance that a little bit and see what was going on there. Mostly for the sake of my companion. There are... the companion has access to various guilds just like I do. But I don't know where to find the daily quests for those. So I tried doing the regular quests for the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild, and that didn't seem to do it. So I'll figure that out in a bit. Let's see. Does she have any skill points at the moment? No. You know what? She doesn't get skill points. You just simply get access to her abilities, and you can schedule those, or you can assign those abilities there. I'm just now noticing that those are listed in priority. So let's see what priority is. Warp Strike, Shadow Slash, and then Life Absorption. No, I'm gonna... We'll leave that be for now. That's probably good enough. Any other little things to pick up in town while I'm here? Doesn't look like it, so let's find something to do. Alright. We have a cart to Rockgrove. Not really interested. That's right, we were heading on our way to Gideon for the main quest. There was a... yeah, Vandacia, or Vandacia, if you prefer the Italian pronunciation. So, that's the main quest there. A number of counselors that we've been trying to warn. Seems all of the counselors originally hail from Cyrodiil, the home of the Imperials. But the home of the Imperials has been ravaged with war at the death of the previous emperor, Emperor Leovic. The story kind of revolves around stuff that this emperor and his family, the Longhouse Emperor family line, it seems that they had been doing some deals in the dark with Merun Stegon, and that's proving to be a problem. Hello, there's a rotten fish here. Oh, find something to taint the wine. Oh, right, there's a little thing I was doing here on behalf of another group. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, the counselors are from Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil's empire fell apart when, in this story, what they're calling the traitor Varin killed Emperor Leovic. That whole story with Emperor Varen is... I'm trying to get north of the city. Let's keep going around. Just checking around the walls and stuff here to see if there's rune stones or other neat little things like water hyacinth. So Varen, the thing about the traitor Varen revolves around the initial story for Elder Scrolls. This story is about Leovic, the former emperor, and his family line, the Longhouse Emperors, and stuff that they did with Mehrunes and Stegon. There's something about the 4 ambitions that are possibly weapons. These were managed to be secured away in 4 ambitions, secured away in 3 different vaults. Still trying to figure out what the ambitions are. We'll get there eventually. Ah, there's the entrance for the refuge. Good to know. Meanwhile, all around Leowen there are these portals opening up, and I'm not going to jump in there quite at present. But doing that, you get transported to the realm of the Daedric Prince, Mehrunes Dagon, and do a series of battles, culminating in a large battle with a bunch of other random players that happen to be in that same area. No treasure trove there. Keep moving on. And what else can I say about Longhouse Emperors and the story? Well, the counselors, that's I think where I was going. The counselors all fled Cyrodiil when Leovic was killed because all of Cyrodiil got embroiled in a whole bunch of war from different factions. Here we go. Fighting a troll here. Troll throws mud crabs at us, which then fight the troll. That's always fun. Many of the counselors wound up fleeing here to Leowen, which is its own city-state now. Somebody's dead. What am I looking for here? However, the arcane... Oh, there's a dead drop here somewhere. The Arcane Brotherhood... sorry, not Arcane Brotherhood. That would be in Forgotten Realms. The Dark Brotherhood, much less cool of a name. Where is this dead drop? The Dark Brotherhood, there it goes again, is trying to root out all of the various counselors because the counselors know something about this deal that the Leovic Emperor line had with Mehrunes Dagon. I don't know why. We don't know why yet the Dark Brotherhood is involved in this. They are more associated with Sithis than Mehrunes Dagon, so somebody must have hired them. We haven't figured out what that's all about yet. Anyway, here's the dead drop. Cultists are messing with operations. Yeah. Speaking of Sithis. Okay. So, this whole thing with the dead drops, that's just a pair of Imperial traders in this case, that are trying to establish themselves with their family company in this Blackwood area in Leowen. There's competition for that. There's apparently an Argonian-based group. By the way, that's a runestone. You can see how they're glowing just a little bit, and I spotted that from a long way away. There's an Argonian group that's giving them trouble. So, for now, I'm working on behalf of the Imperials, helping them with their business. Yes, I am an Argonian. I'm not entirely thrilled about it, but we'll play it out for now. Okay, now is where I'm going to start making my way towards Gideon. Gideon looks to be a smaller town than Leowin, more here in the center of the Blackwood area. Looks like the River Niben here flows further up north and goes quite a ways, almost to Cyrodiil, actually. But it looks like it has got a little bit of a offshoot area down in this section that goes to Gideon. Zoom out the map for a little bit. You don't see too much here, but the River Niben does in fact go all the way up into Cyrodiil. Okay, heading this way, east. Minor exploring here and there, picking up a few things.
Quite a bounty. I'm glad I don't have to carry it.
Bog dog. Nothing terribly interesting here. I am playing ESO on a PC. The Blackwood chapter came out very recently, and I can't remember if it's out both for Xbox and consoles, other consoles. I can't remember if it's out presently for them or if it's just out for PC at the moment. Almost. There we go.
Finders keepers, as they say.
Okay. That was a pewter seam, by the way, and you saw how it was glowing. That is thanks to the keen eye skill that I just picked up. Looks like there's a world boss just over this way, between me and Gideon. I'm curious if anybody's out over in that direction. Let's talk to this merchant. I have some junk I needed to sell. Yeah, alright. I have a mod that does selling of junk kind of automatically. If you wanted to do some inventory cleanup of your own, you can go into your various inventory things. Oh, container. Ooh. Look at that. That's cool. I should pick up scrying at some point. I have a lot of things I should be dropping off at the bank. Anyway, let's go with some stuff here. Like, if you wanted to mark something as junk, you can either... Well, you can destroy it, but you can also... options... It's not there. So maybe I'm thinking of a PC-based thing. So here I am with mouse. You can see the interface is very different. Yeah, there we go. You right-click on an item and you can say mark as junk. I have a few other options here as well. But you can mark it as junk and then it shows up here in junk. That makes it a little bit easier for you to know what you planned on selling and what you wanted to keep. What you wanted to hold on to. So that when you meet a merchant, you can just go to the junk panel, empty out your junk, and be on your way. Additionally, there are some things that automatically are classified as junk. Just go ahead and sell those. They're just taking up space in your inventory, and a few coins is better than holding onto the junk.
The other writers I talked to last year said to avoid the word moist in my stories, but that's really all I have left for this passage. Romantic scenes are so challenging.
Boy. Okay, so they managed to incorporate the word moist.
We all only ever seem to find musty
Elder
grain in
Scrolls.
spuds.
That's great. I have no idea what the deal is with the word moist. There we had... Oh, look at this. A lore book. Cool. The glowing blue books are lore books. They help advance your Mage's Guild and Thieves' Trove stuff. It's always great. Always great to pick up, but those require access to the Thieves' Guild questline. Still heading there. Okay, so here we have a... looks like a fort. With some... Sul'Xan. Guess they're an Argonian cult or group or something. Heavy sacks, I believe, contain runes in them. Rune stones, so... always useful. Okay, so here we have a whole bunch of people doing some very interesting things here. I seem to be spotted. Let's back off. I was wondering if anybody might, other players might be in the area. These guys, you can see their nameplate up at the top of the screen there. They have... this is something that's best done with a group or with a really excellently equipped character, which I do not have. Rootstone. Oop, missed it. Okay. I haven't been out this area much or at all, so seems to be a lot of stuff that's unmarked on my map so far. A lot of harvesting nodes unmarked on my map. Here we go. If you're watching my mini map up there, you might notice that the icons are popping up there as I harvest the nodes for the first time. After the first time, if that same node respawns, there will be an icon on the screen itself, the main screen. So a lot of what I'm doing is just filling out my map a little bit with where those harvesting nodes are for later. And if I already have them marked, I'll see what I can do to pass them by. Often I just can't help myself anyway, so there's that.
I knew if I waited here long enough I'd find you.
Okay, I'm just going the wrong way, so I'm gonna head back towards that fort, then take the road. I thought it was a little further north than it was actually. Alright, looks like we're gonna put these guys. Okay. Still heading out to Gideon. Alright. Let's see. It's taking a bit of time here. Nope, I'm still not heading to Gideon. I'm heading towards Zenithar's Abbey. Well, Zenithar's Abbey is a dungeon that I don't want to be doing right now, so... Was there a... There is. You know, I'm just gonna take that way shrine and head on out there. I've been wandering long enough. still filled out my map just a little bit with some stuff to do later. I am trying to kind of do Blackwood west to east. Focusing a little bit more on the southern, doing a southern pass, and then maybe I'll do a northern pass. Here we are in Gideon. Lots to do here. At least 3 or 4 quests to pick up. Goodness. Well, let's start here at the gate with the stables. Stable master. And I'll improve my mount speed. Yeah, there we go. And let's see what this person needs me to do.
Again? Look, I've got just as much right to stand here as anyone else. If those scantily clad Debellites want me to leave, you tell them to come out here and say it to my face.
Debellites, huh?
You're not one of their sanctified bullies? That's a relief. Call me Ferric. I came to Gideon to clear my family's name.
Debellasium.
The loose-rogue fanatics in the Debellasium want to run me off. Started with dirty looks. Now I'm getting threatened. They think my Grana Cerise murdered their high priest decades ago. It's not true, and I mean to set the record straight. Might take a little snooping around, but the evidence is here. Thanks for the help. Not easy for Germains to make friends around here. The Debellites use that manse in the center of town as their Debellasium. Sort of a consecrated love nest. There's proof of Grana's innocence in Gideon. We'll find it there.
So there are 2 deities of love here in the Elder Scrolls universe. One of them is Dibella, the other one is Mara. Dibella is more of a hedonistic and passionate love, and Mara is more of the love of the faithful family life kind of love. So, yeah, we're dealing with the hedon variety, and that sometimes can get, depending on the cult, it can get a little juicy. Right, more about the murder.
Like I said, the victim was one of the Debellites' high priests, a woman named Rolaine. This was 60 years ago, mind. But my grandfather tells me the locals worshipped the ground she walked on. Thought she was a prophet. My Grana Cerise was Rolaine's flower bearer. Followed her everywhere she went. When a heap of treasure went missing and Rolaine vanished, Grana was the prime suspect. No one could prove it, of course. Like wood smoke in a windstorm.
Gone.
And without breathing a word to my Grandpa Lier. Way Grandpa tells it, neither of them would so much as visit the Lou without telling the other where they were headed. These damned zealots rallied half the city, gathered up torches and shovels and ran him and my father out of town with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Even outside of Gideon, the rumors followed him. We haven't had a moment's peace since. Bravo. Took an awful long time, what with the 3 Banners War and all. But I made it, and I'm not leaving till I settle this once and for all.
Ravel's in Cyrodiil.
Might have happened yesterday for all these people care. Nobody holds a grudge like an Imperial. If your name is Germain, you're lower than dirt in their eyes. I just had a son a couple years back, and he's already catching it on the chin. He's 2.
Okay.
An apology? I'm not that naive. I'm a carpenter by trade. I'll settle for people not hiding my tools and splitting my sawhorses 6 times a month. It's about respect. To oblivion with the rest. Well, not exactly. For now, I can say I have good reason to think there's more to the story. I'll know more once we look around their make.
All right, that's interesting. Well, that actually solves a handful of the quests that were available to me. Oh, he wants me to escort him. Well, okay, so he's going to hang out with me for a little bit. Looks like we have also something in this building. Governor's Mansion? Nope, something on the outside of the building. Here we go. What's here? Author assistance. Huh. Help Yuzara. I wonder if Yuzara was that orc I met just a little while ago. Joves, look at that. Joves we saw in the Thieves Guild questline. Curious. Anyway, research local history, possibly haunted ruins. Daedra may care attitude required. Yeah, that sounds like me. Egg and hammer in Gideon. Alright. That sounds like a little bit less of a priority than... Tell you what, let's go with our original mission for now. Maybe tie up those other loose ends a little bit later.
I was attacked in the streets of our fair city, Keshu. I demand you deal with the criminal post-haste.
Your guards did their job, Counselor Vandacia. The prisoner is secure.
And what's this? More assassins?
Yeah,
Explain yourself immediately.
Yeah, okay.
One attempt on my life today is more than enough. If you're another one of those Dark Brotherhood bastards, I assure you, you won't find either myself or Governor Keshu to be easy prey.
Okay, so the governor for Gideon is Keshu. Was this Keshu? Yeah. So the governor is Keshu, and this is just a counselor.
One attempt on my life today is... Warn me? As always, Leviticus offers too little and too late. I received the letter, same as the other counselors. My personal guard took the threat seriously, and we captured the assassin in the act. But what of my esteemed colleagues? Dead. All three of them. This is unimaginable. Pharaoh Lupus's letter suggested the Longhouse Emperors left behind a secret that would prove to be a threat. But I thought he was just being melodramatic. Has Leviticus determined what this is about?
Leviticus is in Leowyn. He's pretty high up in Leowyn, although not its official countess.
Poor ambitions. Never heard of them. How could something I know nothing about make me a target of the Dark Brotherhood? It's got to be a mistake. You must question the prisoner. Get him to confess and reveal the truth of this sordid affair.
Good.
Governor Keshu locked the prisoner in the holding cell in the courthouse basement. Question the villain and find out why the Dark Brotherhood is trying to wipe out anyone who was part of the Imperial Elder Council. I'll head for Leowyn afterward.
Sounds like he's more safe here than he will be in Leowyn, but you know, okay.
I wish there was something I could tell you. The letter I received suggested that some old council business was the cause of all this. Why the Dark Brotherhood would be interested in such menial affairs, I'm not sure. As I said, I never heard the term. The Longhouse Emperors were enamored of secrets and code words, though. Perhaps I encountered it, but it was called something else. If you think it might be important, ask the assassin when you interrogate him. I'm not sure how relevant my ancient history is, but I was appointed to the Elder Council by Emperor Durkarach himself.
The first Longhouse
I
Emperor.
helped guide the Empire through most of the reign of the Longhouse Emperors.
Boy, he was with all of the Longhouse Emperors. I think there were 3 of them, and they ruled for 60 years. I think that's the deal.
Sadly, my role in guiding the Empire often put me at odds with the Emperors. I was rarely privy to their secrets.
Governor.
Keshu the Black Fin. War hero, progressive Argonian, and governor of our fair city of Gideon. I serve as an advisor and bureaucrat. Nothing more. I have deep roots in Gideon, so I try to do my part to keep the wheels of government turning. My
How did you
personal guard
manage?
is dedicated and well-trained. Not to mention lucky. I was nearing the courthouse when the assassins sprang from the shadows. My guards reacted instantly and overpowered the villain. We brought them here, and Keshu locked them away.
Okay. Hi, Keshu. What's going on?
Why is this the first I am hearing of a threat against the former members of the Elder Council? I should have been alerted to this the moment it came to light. The Chamber of Legates and the Ivory Brigade are usually quicker to share information.
I have no memory of what a legate is supposed to be. Ivory Brigade is an imperial... not an imperial, but it's imperial in that it is made by Imperials, the race of humans. But they're kind of a militia that formed to try and keep Leowyn as an independent city-state. Okay, here we go.
A prudent precaution. Leowyn Castle can be better defended than anything we have here in Gideon.
Okay.
Still, without accurate intelligence, my Blackfin Legion is like the Watchmen patrolling at night without a lantern. Enthusiastic, but ineffective.
Alright, so she has her own legion, apparently, called the Blackfin. Yeah, who are you?
I am Keshu, called the Blackfin. The people of Gideon elected me as their governor. It is my honor to serve them. Prior to this, I traveled the world as a mercenary and helped establish the Ebonheart Pact. I even fought in the war for a time. Not at all. I gave up my commission.
Okay.
I seek to build an advanced Saxleal society. A more inviting and vibrant culture that embraces our past glory while retaining our current outlook on the world. Gideon is the beginning of that experiment.
Argonians often call themselves Saxleal.
I learned the benefits of an integrated society during my travels. Gideon is open to anyone who wants to live in peace and contribute to my dream. All are welcome here. Someday, Gideon will serve as the gateway to Blackwood. My dream is that Gideon will one day connect all of the isolated Argonian settlements with a larger world. A center of learning, diplomacy, and culture. We have a long way to go and many hurdles to overcome, but we will get there. Eventually.
I'm now scanning through what happens in the 1,000 or so years after the stories that occur here. I don't know anything specifically about Gideon. I actually know very little about Black Marsh in general, this whole southeastern area of the continent where the Argonians are from.
I only locked the prisoner in the cell a few moments ago. I was trying to get more details out of Counselor Van.
Well, let's see who we have here. Legionnaire. Just out of curiosity, let's do some bookshelves because there are often lore books in there to advance my Mage's Guild skill line. And sometimes woodworking.
What do you want?
The black. Ooh. Is anybody watching, perchance? Let's grab that. Love finding recipes. Okay, so we need to talk to the assassin. Did they say the assassin was downstairs?
The cell door is open. What happened here?
Well,
Put something on the lock. Hit me. And escaped.
yeah. Did you really think you were going to keep a Dark Brotherhood assassin down here? Alright, let's take a look. I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Ate right through the lock. Look, there's more of it on the floor.
Yep. Get to follow these spots now. Okay. Where? Oh, there we go.
We ran that way, toward the old ruins.
Alright. So, Farrick, looks like you're going to be on your own for this one.
He almost knocked me over. How rude.
He attacked this legionnaire and ran into the ruins of the old city.
Ruins of the old city. I guess Leowyn. Or Gideon. Gideon looks like must have some. Oh, let's check this out. That's an Aelid pillar, kind of an Aelid circle right here. That's more modern Imperial design. Yeah, all of that is modern, contemporary Imperial. But this archway here is more Aelid design. Yeah, we have... That's kind of cool. I like it. It's kind of like the experience of walking around in... And here's some more. More ruins. Fascinating. Okay, so there's an ancient culture that is long extinct from the world called the Aelids. And they're kind of a... they were not a very nice culture, but they left behind all kinds of ruins, especially in the Cyrodiil area, and here we're kind of close to Cyrodiil. You don't find almost any of these in Skyrim up in this area, but yeah, there's a lot more of them in Cyrodiil, and I guess here in Blackmarsh as well. Yeah, ancient culture, kind of a romantic era culture, a lot of arches and circles, which obviously makes it distinct from the almost Anglo-Saxon style of imperial buildings. Let's see, yeah, Leeuwin itself had a major Gothic cathedral. And I think that kind of was Aelid inspired as well, but you never know. Actually, let me double check that. Look at this. There's various walls and ruins and stuff even on that map too. Yeah, so Aelid stuff all over this part of the map. I love how they just built a city around it. Anyway, it's kind of like wandering around Rome and finding old, ancient Roman ruins, if you've ever had the pleasure.
He attacked this legionnaire and ran into the ruins of the old city.
Twilbeck. Aelids left all kinds of structures, like in Gideon. Most of the people of Gideon say they are a dangerous eyesore. Well, there's that. Okay. Dragonflies I can take without Miri getting upset at me. Okay. Skeevers. Oh, goody. Let's go north first. Death hoppers. Okay. Maria Stuarda is, right now, kind of a healing character. I have several abilities that do healing, and only 2 that do actual damage. Let's see if I can remember. I have that one, which is healing over time. I have this one, which does healing in a circle around me, and I have this one, which does healing in a cone in front of me. So many different ways to do healing. Some of that's probably redundant, so, you know. Lots of bookshelves, more lore books. A hidden chamber. Okay, I'll get back to that. Let's just explore a little bit more. See what was down in this area. need an AoE damage spell. Dawn's Wrath.
They're coming for us.
Actually, I have some skill points to burn and some... well, let's just some skill points to burn and some things that can morph. So just get into this next chamber here and I'll double check that. That might give me a little bit more firepower. Literally firepower in this case, considering that this would be from the Dawn's Wrath skill line, which is all about the fire. Okay, so let's see. Sunfire. It can be morphed. That's what the 3 dots next to it mean. And I can either do... Let's see. So it tells you what it does originally and the new effect. So this this has a initial damage and then a damage over time effect. And so this makes the damage over time last more. This one... Aha! AoE! And it snares. That sounds much more useful. What about this one? Reducing their healing received. Well, okay, healing is not as... Enemies healing themselves doesn't happen too much. And that does AoE. Okay. Oh, instead of a single target. Light, empower light and heavy attacks. Okay. Well, interesting. So, now that's around me. I prefer X being a more distant thing, so I'm going to make that reflective light now and put solar barrage on there so that I can go X with a long range blast and then like so, and then I can do Y as my instant damage. Oh cool, it just keeps firing. More lore books. They're off fighting something there. Astara. Elam, Astara. Sanctuary is there. Death, my brother. Okay, they are definitely Dark Brotherhood assassins.
You're persistent, I'll give you that. Alright, let's chat.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Do you make it a habit to read other people's mail? That letter is personal and private, full of sensitive information.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, aren't you a fast reader? If you chased after me because of something Council Van Dacia told you, well, he lied. If the Dark Brotherhood sets out to kill you, you're dead. We don't make mistakes. We don't fail. Not ever. I haven't killed anyone. Not recently, anyway. And if you're talking about our calling card, anyone can dip their palm in black ink and slap it on a sheet of parchment. Look, we received no contracts. I'm here on different business entirely.
So somebody is trying to blame the Dark Brotherhood for murders.
Good question. If you figure it out, let me know. I certainly owe someone for the bruises the Councilor's guards gave me.
But
now,
didn't he jump them?
As this has been, I really do need to get back to my daring escape. Best of luck with your mystery.
Van Dacia may have exaggerated that point. They may have targeted a Dark Brotherhood assassin who wasn't trying to kill Van Dacia.
tempting, but no. I detest so-called places of justice.
Right. Okay. Well, have fun with that. Let's get some provisioning ingredients for later. Stew, nah. Alright. Wait, is that all that there is to the dungeon? Oh, I guess I did all of the other stuff earlier. Where's my way out? Here? Yeah. That was a book about Keshu.
Bringing a book for travel is well worth the pack space. Shame they're so heavy.
Interesting, my spells are now both instant cast. One of them took a little bit longer to do than the other. Oh, bother. Yeah, I would say I'm doing a little bit better damage now, huh?
Maybe they should try that.
The one thing I don't like about that AoE spell is that it requires me to be kind of in the thick of it. Being in the thick of it is not too bad because I have some short-range heals, and I can potentially heal others who are in the thick of it. Don't know that that's exactly where I want to be wearing all this light armor, though. So we'll see. Alright, so Vandasya told a little bit of a fib. He may have been fibbing about those ambitions, too. Maybe I should talk to Keshu first. Where is she? Not around. Alright. Talk, dude.
Oh, the mercenary from Leowin has returned. Tell me, allow me to peruse the document, if you will. Proof positive that the Dark Brotherhood is in Blackwood. What did you expect? Such lies fall from his lips like rain from the sky on a stormy day. Villains never freely admit their guilt. The evidence is right here in this letter. Meet me in Leowin and we'll share the... What? Oh, my personal guard are nearby and these legionnaires are sufficient. You need not be concerned. As for Keshu, she had business.
Yeah. Okay, that guy's gonna be a mole. Well, that's telling me to go to Leowin Castle, but we have some other business to deal with here. Let's talk to the Ghostwriter first. That sounds like fun. Head on into the tavern.
Right. So if that's north, that means... Wait, that's not right. Oh, more was mercy. A little help, anyone?
Okay, so Ysara is not the orc I encountered
Are you from
earlier.
around here? Sorry, I'm not familiar with Gideon and... Wait, are you here because of my flyers? Thank Rupska. Call me Ysara. I'm here on a thrilling... I'm an author.
Sure.
Aspiring, really. I've penned a few romance novels, but they all lack... What's the word? Authenticity, yes. So, I resolved to get out into the world and find my muse. Now, here's the exciting part. I found it in Castle Giaves.
Right.
Yes. Well, not exactly. A tragic affair. Thank you for agreeing to accompany me. With your help, my next romance novel will be a masterpiece. Well, I can tell you it's alien in origin. Oh, that's easy. You just sort of jiggle it, or something. Look, I'm an impulse buyer.
Not
but
into
I'm
this
certain
voice
it will
actor,
work.
so let's...
The orc I bought it from is a very reputable deal. Yes.
I'm gonna move
well,
through.
I fancy myself one at any rate.
Mixed reviews,
My
romance
novels
genre.
receive mixed reviews. Because I'm a romantic, you silly. I mean, sure. I've never been in a real...
Right.
Oh, yes. Maybe too much. Castle Giaves has a long, tragic history. You've read Carlo Townway's 2920 series, right? If not, you absolutely must. Only the basics. My great-great-grandmother lived in Gideon for a time before immigrating back to Sentinel. And she brought back all kinds of stories. Some joyful, but... Oh, you know, star-crossed lovers, murder, betrayal, that sort of thing. But my great-great-grandmother may have embellished a bit. What storyteller...
Okay. This is not the first time. Anything interesting in there? Not really. Okay, so she wants me to go to... Well, for now, the city gardens. Alright, that sounds manageable. Still in the city. And definitely love these Aelid ruins, just scattered about.
You made it! Alright, this is the place where people see the spirit. Go on and try out the lantern.
Who intrudes upon my grief? Giaves is lost. My son is lost. All that remains is sorrow.
Tava's feathers! I was right! Alright, you talk, I'll take notes.
You can see me? It matters little. The miseries of Castle Giaves bind me here. Bind all of us here.
Castle Giaves, I wonder.
We are cursed. I am Duchess Estella of Castle Giaves. As for the curse, it is the work of a vile trollop named Alizinda. Arche scorn her soul. My darling boy, Mathan was infatuated. I cannot bear to speak of it anymore.
Alright, so... Great.
It worked! I told you it would work! Tall Papa's breeches, what a tale! A ghostly duchess? Yes, tied to a cottage nearby. The Duchess said the lover's name was Alizinda. That was my great-great-grandmother's name.
Oops.
It can't be a coincidence, can it? She lived in Gideon for a time before moving back to Alakir.
Yep. Wait, and another quest? What's this one all about? Oh, Battlegrounds. Okay, so that's just a thing for if you want to engage in some PvP. There's your quest stub for it. Let's see, a cottage. Is the cottage nearby? Or no, that's outside, isn't it? Yeah, there's the cottage. Okay, so switching quests. Now let's, since I'm in town, I want to do the one that's in town. We have this Dibella issue. Okay.
I beg your pardon. What is it?
Anything? Nope. Worth checking. Backpacks, you know. Every now and then they have a pattern, and patterns are definitely worth taking to fill out your repertoire. You know, so far I'm just seeing a few Argonians and not too many Dibellites.
So, this is the Dibellosium. Just what I expected.
Well, yeah, there's a thing to Dibella, sure. Not much here.
Look at this place. These Debellites fancy themselves free-spirited bards blown by the wind. They've got enough gold to make Zenithar blush. Doesn't matter. I don't know yet. I just know we have to look. Take this. It's a rare bit of magic called a memory stone. I'm a carpenter, not a mage.
Where did you get this memory stone?
But according to this dark elf I showed it to, the mushroom wizards up in Morrowind use them to store their memories. The catch is, you have to stand where the memories occurred to wake up the magic in the stone. Aye, that's the hope. I know we face long odds on this.
Okay. Let's just explore a little bit more. You never know what you might find. I'm not picking up most of this stuff. Usually you only want to pick up stuff that's green, and even then, green treasure might be worth picking up, but you know, there's a little bit of a time investment there. Now that's what I'm looking for. So, I'll wait for this servant.
Suspicious.
Yeah, well, you just keep walking. Right. So that is... Yeah, that was a green treasure, and its only purpose is to be sold. But 100 gold is a pretty decent amount. Wamasu girders, what was that? Gators. Treasure, okay. So treasures, yeah, their only purpose is to be sold. Yeah, chicken breast is not a uncommon recipe. It's pretty common. And just... Okay. Any treasure that is white or is not worth picking up. It's only worth like 10 gold. You're only allowed to sell stolen treasures a few times, a limited number of times a day, so if you're going to fill your inventory, at least do it with green ones. Okay, ground floor. We're looking around the ground floor. I'm seeing no scantily clad Debellites, except perhaps this priest. Honestly, it's a little hard to tell with Argonians. Okay, so where are we supposed to use this device he gave us? Ground floor. I guess ground floor is still one further down. Alright.
What do you want?
Oh, you know, I'm on the wrong quest. Want to do this Blackwood, Joss, Death Hopper. Here we are, Haunted Legacy. Nope, that's... Yeah, that is the one. So there's two haunted things here.
Look, the stone flashed. Did you see it? Try to use it. I saw that stone flash like a torch bug. There must...
Is it gonna transport me into the... There it goes. Into the memory, or just show me it?
Something's happening. Is that... It's a memory!
Well, that would be the grandmother. That would be the assassin.
Horus Mercy!
Debella's Mercy in this case. So who was it?
By the 8, what was that? A murder? Someone recorded a murder in that stone? Why would anyone do that? Wait. Could this be related to the disappearances Grandpa Lier told me about? Aye. The way Grandpa Lier tells it, in the weeks before Rolain vanished, a handful of novitiates went missing. None of them were popular enough to raise an outcry. People said they must have just left, trying to get out from under Rolain's shadow. Grana Cerise helped all the novitiates, cleaning linens, tending to flowers, arranging sheet music. She knew everyone. These people probably would have pinned the disappearances on her, too. The story took a dark... The Debellites decided it must have been a conspiracy. The missing novitiates were all in on the plot. Now we see the truth of it. Can't be sure, but whoever murdered those novitiates...
Okay, so... Interesting. Play it out a little bit further. Here's
another flash. Try the stone now. Not another one.
Novitiate and murdered.
Preserve me. It's so real.
Murdered with style, alright. He talked about disappearances, but these are definitely murders.
Doesn't seem like I'm getting much done here.
Okay.
It's our killer again. What's he doing? Gods, what is that? Magic? Did you see those gestures? Can you repeat them? Mara's mercy!
Well, hello. Sure, let's go through the phantom door.
Skeletons? Are those the murdered novitiates? I think I might... Come on, Vera. Keep it together.
Yep, 2 novitiates. But not, the High Priestess herself. Okay, but we got a map. And we got a ledger. The Waking Flame? Ideal Masters? Oh, goodness. Okay, so I can't recall who the... I think the Waking Flame is... Isn't that the Dagon cult? The Ideal Masters, though, that's in a pocket plane of oblivion where souls are kept, or where they're sent after they've been stored in a gemstone. This came up in the first DLC in Skyrim called what was it called? The vampire one where you help out Serana. Anyway, you wind up going to the Soul Cairn, and that's where the Ideal Masters are. Maybe they mean a different Ideal Masters.
Find anything?
Let's see what he says.
What have you got there? A letter? Here, let me have a look at it. Oh, and can I have my stone back? Clara, Ariel, Edgard. Yes, these were the novitiates. This should bring their families some closure, at least.
Okay.
It wasn't enough that the murderer killed the novitiates. She had to steal their souls, too? How would someone even do that?
Must have had soul magic. You kill somebody and capture their soul in a black soul gem.
Huh. I've heard of soul gems before, but not black soul gems. I thought mages just used them on rabbits and goblins and such. These black ones can suck up the souls of men and Myr?
Yep.
May it preserve us. The ledger said the killer traded them, right? Never heard of them. But then again, honest carpenters like me don't do much business with soul-stealing wizards. It's all academic anyway. There's no way of knowing if the trade even took place. Unless that map...
Okay.
I never told you how Priestess Rowlane died, did I? She left to visit Leowyn in her carriage, along with her flower bearer Cerise, my grandmother. They never arrived.
All right.
Maybe this map shows where they went. Let's see where it leads, eh? Grandpa said there'd been talk about how Grana Cerise and the other junior priestesses of Dibella were greedy. When news came that Priestess Rowlane had been murdered, none questioned they'd killed her. Instead, they burned Grandpa Lierre's home. I don't see how it could be anything else. Sadly, I imagine the angry
Pretty
people
much.
who burned down our home and chased Grandpa Lier away are dead now. So they're
Does he
beyond
know
justice.
about these ideal masters?
You're asking me? I figured you'd know. Whoever they are, I guess they like souls? The ledger said that the killer was bringing... I wouldn't expect you to know
Waking
about them.
Flame.
How many local cults are you familiar with? You seem so calm about all of this.
Alright.
So these... By the 8, I hope not. I can't imagine how horrifying...
Alright, so... through we go. Map. Let's see. That's going to be the carriage. There's the lover's cottage. Couple little things outside of Gideon to do. Alright, we have spent enough time in here. And boy, there's practically... There are more there was only one Debelite in here. It's weird.
Well...
Alright, let's see what else we got. I think that's it for the city, so out we go. Looks like most of the stuff to do was out the eastern side of the city. Is there a gate? There is no eastern gate, so it looks like we're going to go with a northern gate. That's interesting. I wonder who that's supposed to be. What the heck is that supposed to be? What the heck?
We get the occasional fortune hunter out this way.
Well, that's interesting. Well, how about some trivia? There is an ancient medieval instrument that is called the Serpent, and it did look similar to that, at least in shape. It was actually a brass instrument, if I recall correctly, that was in the shape of a serpent. Yeah, anyway, it was in the shape of a serpent, and you blew into it. It was kind of a predecessor to modern-day trumpets and trombones, but it just had holes in it instead of valves and keys. Okay. What do you think, south or northeast? Let's go northeast. That instrument there looked like some sort of perverse organ. Very strange. Neat little bit of culture just to throw in there. Lizard bear. They have lizard dogs and they have lizard bears here. Great. Yeah, there was no reason to really even show that or depict that. It's not connected to any quest, nothing.
cottage the Duchess mentioned, I think. Not all that romantic, is it? Let's look around.
Okay, lore book. Mathen wasn't doing so good, at least according to Alzinda. Is that it? Yeah, Alzinda. Alizinda. That's curious.
Quite
Seems
a
like
bounty. Glad I don't have to carry it.
seems like Alizinda believed that the guy didn't like him and didn't love him anymore. Boy, Kesha was really involved around here. I'm gonna have to read those books at some point.
Nothing but creaky floorboards and old weeds for me. I knew I should have brought... May I? Her anguish just jumps off the page, doesn't it? So, Mathen intended to marry someone else, and it's a ring of Mara, the sort of ring used in a pledge of marriage. Mathen might have intended to give it to this miss...
Right.
Who's there? Alizinda, my love. Is it you?
Slight little thing going on here. Excuse me just a moment.
Grandmother Alizinda clearly knew how to pick them.
This light, it offers some respite from my sorrows. You have my thanks. I am Mathen Gallinus.
Both victims.
Is heartache not curse enough? My great love, Alizinda, poisoned me on the very night I meant to propose to her. Someone deceived her. Told her I meant to marry another. I do not know. I've learned that certain objects hold a grip on the soul. Things we treasured in life. In my darkest moments, I sometimes feel... maybe... these long, gray years make it difficult to think. Seek out the chapel. My lady, forgive my impertinence, but you are the very image of my lost love, Alizinda. How could this be?
Oh my goodness. I believe I'm her descendant, brave Sir Duke, Baron, whatever. My name's Ysara, by the way. What were we talking about again?
You share her spirit, Lady Ysara. At last, fate grants me a kindness.
We must help him. That poor soul.
Yeah.
Sweet Mora's left tit. What was that all about? Sorry for the language, but right? Have you ever met a ghost that gorgeous? Not yet. I've heard some nasty rumors about howling ghosts that wander the castle grounds, attacking anyone who draws near. So, well, the lantern draws in spirits that yearn for connection. At least, I don't think so. We're based...
Okay. So, let's see here. What else we got? Capel Joves Chapel. So I guess there's a little castle over there, ruins of one. Yeah, let's stay on this track.
I'll catch up to you at the chapel, all right? I need to jot down some notes.
Anyone for some fishing? Some hyacinth. That is useful.
Can never have enough of that.
I quite agree. Castle Joves. It's weird that there's something called the Jovesan skull that was a big part of the Oh, actually, this is making a little bit of sense. They're Redguard. Her grandmother and she are both Redguard. They are the ones that live out in the Alkir Desert. See, what is troubling me is that I'm over here, and the Geovessan skull, the person who is Geoves, is an ancestor all the way out in here, in a dungeon right about in this area, I think. So it's bizarre. Go ahead and grab a chest here. I'm running up on a little bit of a time limit here, so I'll step into the area probably and then have to call it there. Let's just get a little bit closer.
Looks like you're buying at the next pub, Fla.
Fla. I do like that they gave Miri some of the oddities of Dark Elf language. Like they have their own set of cuss words and stuff.
Nothing wrong with a little opportunistic harvesting.
Sarah is one that came up very often in Morrowind. Oh boy. A wisp mother. Let's not bother her. Morrowind, of course, being the home of the Dark Elves. But yeah, all sorts of regional language. Where am I going? Castle. Right. Ruins of Castle. That would be the ruins of a castle. In we go. Lots of ghosts in the area. I'll just poke my head in and take a look. Cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, neat. Got a castle, big old tower that's still standing there, occupied apparently, and an old church too. Neat. This place should be rebuilt. Anyway, I'm gonna pause things here, I think, and thank you all for wrong scene. Here we go. Thank you all for joining me. If you join me on the next one, do stop by in the chat. Make sure to follow this channel so that you get notified when I am next streaming. And I'll try and get in another stream in about an hour. So we'll say 2 o'clock and Pacific time, of course. And we'll keep exploring this. We have a couple of little side quests here that we're chipping away at. One involving the Geoves family, or Joves as they say. I say Geoves because that's proper Italian pronunciation. Joves. Anyway, just way distracted on that. Exploring that one and exploring another thing with these Dibellites and then yet a third quest line here with the Dark Brotherhood, who is being implicated in something they're perhaps not doing, and a rather shady counselor who is probably working on the wrong side of things. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.